everybody, I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
And thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Our Life, Our Journey, and Our Truth. We're so happy to have you, and we're so excited that you are part of this wonderful community. Every single week, so many people tell us that this is blessing their lives, and for us, it means everything. We hope to connect with you because that's where it is, right? Want to make sure you follow this woman right here at Dr. Steph Walker. Make sure you follow her on Instagram. Follow me at drstephwalker3. Go to our website, drstephwalker3.org, and find out more about us and how we can connect with you in the spaces where you are. We appreciate that. Then make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe now to this page because we want to make sure that this is a part of your every week journey with us as we all grow together and be all who God has called us to be. Now listen, today, we're going to talk about this lies and truth in relationship. Just lies and truth. Just lies, right? But the truth is, that was a movie, and I think we all remember this scene when Jack Nicklaus said, "You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth."
And that's often, I think, one of the reasons why I want to address this, because people, who really desire honesty in a relationship, I think it's important that you put yourself in a position where you can actually
receive it and handle it. And I
it's
agree.
tough, right? And I think there's some things, you really have to be willing to move your emotions out of the way and know that a person may be telling you the truth, not in a very visceral way or, malicious way, but it's in a loving way.
Yeah.
And I think when you open up your heart to receive it, I think it could help move a relationship on to higher heights.
Yeah, that's actually good because it's not just about like marriage or, opposite sex relationships or any whatever. Like it can also happen in like platonic relationships.
Yeah.
I guess that's my point.
Yeah.
So it's really just about like being willing to receive the truth.
And I think there's you and I both read Goldman's book on emotional intelligence. We talked about that, how important it is for people to really, understand their EQ, because how you receive negative things,
information or feedback.
That may not,
are you always like, that's their problem, that's their fault? Well, if 20 people are telling you the same thing, it can't be everybody else's fault or everybody else's problem.
Yeah.
You got to you have to have the capacity to look internally to figure out how you're contributing to the problems, or maybe it's not a problem per se, but it's a characteristic or what have you that people are trying to help you evolve from. Just really being willing to accept.
Yeah, so maybe that's it. You have to be willing to accept the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not always be defensive, not always, deflect, not always, well, it's not my fault, it's this or that. People rise up, and I've seen that sometimes because your emotional, position maybe.
And then they ask you, and then when you tell them, they get upset.
Yeah, I was minding my own business. You just walked in the room and asked me that I told you, then now you're mad at me for the rest of the day.
Right. Like you gave me the green light to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But you're not willing or ready at that time to actually receive it. So just be careful what you wish for, be careful what you ask for, and make sure that whatever you're asking for, you're able to, your spirit and your mind and your ego really is positioned to receive whatever is coming towards you.
That's very real.
Yeah.
I think the reason why I think there's such a culture of lies, if you will, and lies sometimes may not be necessarily things you say. Sometimes you could be lying in what you do not say.
Lying by omission.
Let's talk about that. Like the lie of omission. Like
I was there last night. Yeah, you're right. They saw me. I was there. But they're not going to tell you who they were with, right? Or what they were doing.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think sometimes too, people when they enter that, sometimes I think there's a fear. Let me give an example. Like, I don't think God wants any of us to be in fear-based relationships.
Right.
The fear of what could happen.
Yeah.
The retaliatory kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times, and I just speak, if I could just kind of
be candid.
Be candid.
Be candid.
A lot of men,
Yeah.
because I've been a man all my life, so I can speak like this. A lot of men struggle. It's not so much that a man wants to lie. It's just that sometimes a man is like, I don't want to have to live with the residue of this for the next 20 or 30 years of my life. How about that? Like, does truth cost?
Yes, sometimes it does. However, as the wife, I would say, you need to think about that before you did what you did that will cause you to lie, period. So, like, I'm on the other end
all the
receiving,
women,
right?
I can feel it in the spirit, all the women are like, yeah, Dr. Steph.
No, but seriously though, like, I think that's where communication comes in. And I do feel like a lot of couples who are in relationships or in marriages face this. This is like a real bridge, right? But you have to be able, right? Like, if you want the truth, you have to create an environment and an atmosphere where your spouse knows that you are truly ready to receive the truth. You can't say, I want to know. Tell me everything.
Yeah.
If you really don't want to know. And then when they do tell you, you like go off the deep end. Like, sometimes it's not what you want to hear. Sometimes you're relieved to hear whatever it is. And sometimes you're like, oh, okay, well, good. That's not what I thought, right? But sometimes you're like, oh, that's a gut punch. But you can't come out swinging because they told you the truth, right? Like, you have to figure out, like, you told me, I don't like it, but I'm grateful that we have the type of relationship where you feel and you trust me enough to be able to handle your truth.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you chastise or if you are constantly getting beat up for telling the truth, guess what? You're just going to stop telling the truth.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. And so we learned this, right? Like, we had to learn how to navigate these types of waters because neither one of us are perfect, but we're perfect for each other. And we've learned that we can handle each other's truth. We can handle each other's baggage. And it's not always about, something salacious. Sometimes it's just about something way back in my past. Sometimes it's about my baggage that I brought into the marriage, about whether it's relationships or beliefs or fears, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you have to be able to create an environment where you can be naked and unashamed.
Boom, and there it is. Create an environment where you can be naked and unashamed, where you can truly be transparent, you can truly have real conversations.
Like, you can feel safe, pouring out your deepest, darkest secrets, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting because I've had, maybe it's a little too transparent, but I've had conversations when people come to me for marriage counseling or counseling for their relationships. And I tell them this, like, you have to be able to ask questions, receive the answers. There's some things that you're not going to like, go deep into those dark closets before you get married. And you have to determine from day one, before you cross that threshold of marriage, whether or not you're going to be able to live with that truth, right? Yeah. Only you can decide if you want to live with that person's history of having done X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But you have a right to know the truth, right? But at the end of the day, sometimes people think in me saying that, I'm saying, don't marry that person or don't be with that person. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying be naked and unashamed.
That's real.
And if you have the capacity to do that, then together, then you can get married, right? You can feel comfortable feeling like you do know each other. Because otherwise, what ends up happening is if you're not able to have those difficult conversations, why are you getting married? Because now you don't even really know that person that you are courting or dating or in a relationship with, because you've never created that environment where they felt comfortable telling you the truth.
Woo! And that's why people wake up. They live in the same house, in the same bed, and they wake up 20 years later and say, I don't know you anymore.
Yeah.
How could that happen? You're in the same house. It's because you did not take that time early on to really address those tough questions and get the honest truth about a person's past or history, et cetera. It doesn't mean, that it always has to be bad, but we talk about this all the time. Marriage is not the merger of two lives. It is the collision of two histories. And so you have
and
to
everybody
understand
comes to the table with baggage.
Everybody
It's just
comes.
you have to figure out what kind of baggage you're willing to take with you on the road.
That's exactly right.
Like, I accepted his baggage. He accepted my baggage. It wasn't all pretty. It wasn't like it all came from like Neiman's or Saks or like designer goods. Like some of it was like trash.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you love that person,
have to accept
you're
it.
like, well, let's get our trash bags and we're going to roll through life together. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's so real. That's so true. And let me tell you something. This is for all the men out there. I'm going to drop something on you real quick about lies and truth, okay? Why should you tell the truth to your girlfriend, to your wife, to your significant other? Can I tell you why? Listen, pay attention. I'm going to write it really slow. Because they already know the truth.
Right.
They're just waiting to see if you're
If
going to
you're
sit there
gonna-
and make them act like they're a fool.
Right. Yes, yes.
They already got the
yes.
receipts, bro. They already got it.
Yes.
They're just sitting up like, oh, so I want to ask you a question just to see if
What
you
you're gonna
value
say.
the relationship
Yeah.
enough to be honest.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And like people sometimes think, well, if you didn't see me do it, then you don't know it. Well, not if they're spiritual. If they're spiritual, they already know. You don't have to say. They might not know all the details, but if they're spiritual, they already know.
They already know.
Something ain't right.
Yeah.
You done did something you didn't have any business doing. Somewhere you ain't having any business being. With somebody you didn't have any business being with. It is what it is, right? But like, that's the reality of the world that we live in. And so you have to, again, pick and choose the truth.
Okay, I got
Pick and choose.
I got one
Okay.
for you. I got- Help the women, help the men.
Okay.
So the wife, the girlfriend comes in and says, baby, do you like my new haircut? You like my new hairstyle? Or do you like this outfit? Now, in his mind, his real truth is, oh my God, I hate that. But help him understand how to communicate to her what she asked him for, the truth.
What I would personally want to hear in that situation, I don't want to hear, it's ugly, it's hideous, what are you doing? Or you're like, it's okay. Like, I would prefer for you to say something along the lines of, well, what do you think? Do you like it? And if I were to say, yes, I love it, you can say, okay, well, I'm glad that you love it. Or, something along, you don't have to lie about it. But I think just being like either super nonchalant or acting like you didn't see it or being like, is not always the right answer. You can eventually get there slowly over time. You don't have to be so brutal with your answers. Like, you hear people are always joking about someone saying, oh, does my butt look fat? Well, one, don't ask that question if you don't want somebody to tell you the truth. But two, clearly be sensitive, because if someone is asking that question, it means that there's something going on in terms of their sense of self, their self-esteem. Like, tread lightly and eventually get to the truth. And so maybe instead of saying, yeah, you're huge, or I see this, or I see that, or I don't like your face or your hair, or whatever, like, you can just say, hey, you know what, like, next time you're going to the gym, just invite them to the gym. Or next time you're going to the nail salon, invite them to the nail salon, or find them a new hairstylist, or give them a gift card to go on a spa day or something.
Yeah, if they
You don't have to be so
ask you or
callous.
something, just be like, yo, have you tried this new lotion? This is
Right.
this stuff is really good.
You can
yeah.
be very tactful and skillful about how you
That is.
help people.
Yeah, that is. Like be very tactful
Yeah.
and thoughtful
And thoughtful.
in your response.
You don't have to be coarse and curt and harsh.
That's so important.
Like, the truth, yes, sometimes the truth hurts, but sometimes the delivery of the truth softens the blow.
Now, you just said something there.
And sometimes people still can't handle it. So, I mean, it is what it is. But you should still do your best to deliver it in such a way
Have you
that
ever
it can
had
be received.
anyone in your life, I'm talking about me.
Yes.
Friends here. No, friends.
Yeah.
People that you like, they ask you for the truth. You told them. And
then they wanna unfriend
still
you.
Unfriend you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. 100%.
How does that make you feel?
So I'm the type of friend that I'm not going to let you walk out of the house looking crazy, right? I'm not going to let you ruin your life by making bad decisions. I'm not going to watch you self-destruct and not say anything. So my personal belief system is such that I would rather have you upset at me for the next 3 months and then you do the right thing, than have you a year from now all jacked up and in a bad situation, and then you look at me and tell me, if you were my friend, you should have told me something. How come you didn't tell me?
Yeah.
And so I'm that friend who's willing to take that risk so that you can be a better person, so that you can be safe. I'm willing to sacrifice that because I care that much about you as an individual that I would rather you be happy without me than unhappy with me.
Yeah. You know, the Bible says something about truth, that when you come into the knowledge of the truth, it's a liberator. It sets you free.
Yeah.
And I think that when you know the truth, you're able to have a better way of engaging in relationships. You give a person an option or a chance. One of the things, the worst thing you could ever do is to be deceitful.
And take away the choice.
Take away the choice, yeah. At least give me the choice to love you in your truth. And I think that is...
as opposed to forcing me to love a stranger. So when you're not being honest with someone in a relationship, then they're falling in love or in like with this image or this person that you created and with these lies, which is to them the truth that you told, only to find out later that you're somebody completely different. Like, that is so unfair. Like, if you actually care about that person and care about who, just care, period. Like, give them the option. Like, at the end of the day, this is who I am. Take me or leave me. It is what it is. This didn't have anything to do with you, but this is, what has been my history in my life. And your prayer is that they love you in spite of all of your flaws. And they also love you because of your flaws and your ability to be transparent, right? And your willingness to grow together, be better together, and seek God's, will for your life and your relationship together, right? But if you never give them that option, then it feels like someone stole your love. It feels like someone stole your option to choose.
Yeah. So listen, this is, I think it's, if I could tie a bow around it, I think it's critically important that when you think about any relationship, business, platonic, romantic, etc., all of those relationships require honesty and truth. There's always the ability to lie your way into something, but what you will discover is that those lies will catch up with you. And I think it's important to be honest and to be with people that can handle your truth, can handle it. This is the beauty of what Adam and Eve had. They were naked and unashamed. It's a work in progress. We're still working it out over here. We don't have it all together. We just, she'll come in and she'll say, hey, you like this outfit? Now she already knows, she's gonna send it back. She just want me to say she's laughing because she knows the truth, right? Because this is always the dilemma of most men. But at the end of the day, man, I just learned, just tell the truth, and I just run another room, close the door. And let
you asked me.
Yeah, you asked me, I'm out. But no, that's how we do it. But I hope this has blessed you, man. We appreciate you guys watching so much. And listen, the lies and truth, it's the stuff we tell. But at the end of the day, man, I believe that lies have wings.
Oh, yeah.
And they will get there so much faster than truth. But truth has legs, unlike a lie. And the truth may take a little longer, but when it gets there, it'll be able to stand.
Oh, that's good.
Remember that. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Peace out.